This is a Retirement Mentality, and this is a place where I'm going to change your mentality about retirement, about how you think about money and how you think about investing. And in this video, I'm going to do my 2023 real estate predictions. I've been making predictions for 2 years. Everybody was telling me that I was an idiot. I didn't know what I was talking about, but so far, everything I predicted since 2020 until now has all come true, despite that I was the only one saying it. I've been saying the opposite of everybody else. So I'm going to tell you guys what I think is going to happen in 2023. And I'm also going to tell you what, I don't know how many I'm going to get into, 4 or 5, maybe 6 of the experts, people from Zillow, people from HUD, people from Realtor.com, people from Redfin. I'm going to go over what they're predicting for 2023. And then I'm going to tell you kind of who I agree with, who I disagree with, and what my predictions are for the 2023 real estate market. Because everybody wants to know, is it still going to crash? Is it going to go down? Should I buy? Should I wait? Should I sell? So I'm going to tell you what the experts think, and I'm going to tell you what I think, and we're going to get into all of it right now.
Shut up and sit down.
Okay, we're here in my office. It's still a little bland. I haven't quite figured out the decorations and the lighting. Don't click off. I'm going to shrink myself down, and we're going to go into an article and see what the experts say. So here we go. Let's just get into this. This is from Forbes magazine. Experts predict what the housing market will look like in 2023. We'll start with Danielle Hale from Realtor.com. She says, basically, the housing market could feel like a nobody's market. We expect to see some buyer advantages in the form of 22.8% more homes for sale. However, the increase will result largely from homes taking longer to sell amid challenging affordability conditions. So she's basically saying we're going to see some more inventory, but it's basically because homes are going to sit on the market for longer as buyers dilly-dally and don't jump into the market as quickly. She also says for many first-time home buyers, 2023 will herald a delayed dream rather than a celebration as home costs exceed what's possible on their budget and income, blah, blah, blah. Nationwide, the median rentals are projected to increase by 6.3%. Even as basically she's because there's going to be more multifamily housing entering the market. What's happening is a lot of builders are now building multifamily instead of single family as buyers are waiting on the sidelines. They're waiting for interest rates to come down. They're waiting for the crash that Graham Stephan and Meet Kevin and everybody keeps telling you for the last 3 years is coming. That's not coming. It's never coming. So sales, she says, are going to be down 14.1% as compared to 2022. Rent prices are going to increase about 6.3%, and overall sales will be down 14% 2023 versus 2022. She predicts that the job market will continue to grow faster than the average pace, but it will not exceed the inflation rate. She says jobs will increase at 3.9%, but inflation is going to stick around 4.1%. So that's her thoughts. I agree basically with what she's saying. I think she's pretty much right on with her predictions. The next expert we're going to go to here is Nick Bailey from RE/MAX. He's the president and CEO of RE/MAX. He says no matter what people say on the macro level or the micro level, he says that Americans are going to continue to buy and sell millions of homes. And I agree with that. People still have to move. People still have job transfers. He also says, generally speaking, when we're talking about the overall health of the housing market, most people are approaching that conversation from the lens of an investor. And I think that is true. That's what a lot of these articles and YouTube videos and things that you're seeing is people talking about what they think is happening in the real estate market, but based on what investors are thinking. And when the average Joe Schmo is watching and wanting to know what's going on with the real estate market, they're not thinking about it from an investor's point of view. They're thinking about it as a first-time home buyer or as somebody that wants to move into a bigger house or a smaller house. They just want to know, are prices going up? Are prices going down? Are interest rates going up? Are interest rates going down? When should I enter the market? So all these, you have to take that into consideration, what you're reading and who the lens is projecting. Is it an investor or is it the average home buyer? He goes on to say a lot of people that have been sitting on the sidelines, and he starts to talk about the millennials and how the millennials have been waiting to get into the market. He says millennial home buyers who make up a huge demographic are primed to make their move. According to a recent survey conducted by RE/MAX, which he's the president of, in partnership with SWNS Media Group, 84% of Gen Z, 79% of millennials, and 61% of survey respondents 77 years or older plan to buy a house or a condo in the next few years. He says, in my opinion, 2023 will be a better year for housing than many people think, especially because we no longer have year-over-year comparisons to 2021, which was a historic outlier that made 2022 seem less than what it really was. I think that's a good point, and I agree with this guy, Nick Bailey from REMAX as well. Now let's hear from somebody on the lending side. This is Jacob Channel. He's the senior economist for LendingTree. He says the housing market will remain tough for many would-be buyers. While mortgage rates will stabilize, prices could decline and buyers may be able to negotiate with sellers more in 2023 than they were able to at the height of the pandemic. That doesn't mean buying a home is suddenly going to become a walk in the park. On the contrary, affordability challenges will likely persist for many years, owing to rates remaining steep and supply remaining limited. That's what I've been saying. So Mr. Channel goes on to say, borrowers should not expect rates to fall to anywhere near their record 2021 lows, or even as low as they were at the start of 2022. Home prices won't necessarily fall everywhere, but a combination of relatively high rates and weak home buyer demand will probably push prices down nationwide this year. Yeah, I don't know if I agree with that. Maybe. He says, although a 5 to 10% drop may seem steep, it is important to keep in mind that because home values rose so much over the height of the pandemic, declines this year are unlikely to totally wipe out the gains that many home buyers saw over the past 3 years. That I do agree with. That's what I've been saying. You know, prices are up 20, 30, as much as 50% in some markets over the last 2 or 3 years. And so everybody who's been waiting for the market to crash, I've been saying prices might dip 5%, maybe 10% in some markets, but everywhere where they went up 30, 40%, a 10% dip isn't a crash, and it's not even getting you back anywhere close to where prices were a year or two ago. So I would say it's time to jump in the market. All right, we got another one here. Lawrence Yun, the chief economist for the National Association of Realtors and vice president of research, he says 4.78 million existing homes will be sold. Prices will remain stable, and Atlanta will be the top real estate market to watch in 2023 and beyond. I've seen a lot of people saying that Atlanta is going to be a hot market this year. Home sales will decline by 6.8% compared to 2022. The first lady that we spoke to, or that we listened to, said that she thought that home sales would decline. I think she said 14%. So this guy is from NAR, the National Association of Realtors, says 6.8% year over year. And the median home, blah, 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 blah. The median home price will increase by 0.3% year over year. I think it's going to go up more than that. I disagree with that. He says half of the country may experience small price gains, while the other half may see slight declines. That's an easy prediction to make. However, markets in California may be the exception, with San Francisco, for example, likely to register price drops of 10 to 15%. Rent prices will rise 5% in 2023, following the 7% from the previous year. So I'm surprised. I usually agree more with the National Association of Realtors than I do in this. So I think his predictions, I think his numbers are off a little bit, but he's not too far off. So let's do one or two more. Let's do Taylor Marr from Redfin. He's the deputy chief economist. He says slowing inflation and the hope of the Fed easing rate hikes in the new year are likely to bring mortgage rates down further and thereby improving home buying demand. I agree with that. But don't call it a comeback or even a recovery yet. Demand is still way down from its peak. We're keeping a close eye on the labor market. Blah, blah, blah. Strong job market, like the one we have today, though it seems comparative slight uptick in employment or slower economic growth would likely help bring mortgage rates down further. If that happens, the increase we're seeing in the early stage demand could translate to an uptick in pending sales in early 2023. So the guy from Redfin isn't saying a whole lot in his prediction. Pretty safe prediction there with not really any meat on the bone. Okay, so there's a lot more experts in this article from Forbes. I'll put a link to it down below if you want to go read and see what everybody else is saying. I'll just jump in quick and tell you that what I think is a kind of a combination of what all these people are saying. I think we're going to see inflation kind of stabilize this year, probably around 5-6%. I think we're going to see mortgage rates stabilize somewhere probably around 6%. And I think we're going to see homes sit on the market longer. I think we're going to see more inventory because homes sit on the market longer. I do agree with those predictions that some of these people made. And I think that overall prices are going to appreciate. In some of my previous videos, I predicted that in 2023, home prices were going to appreciate at 7 to 9%. I'm going to change that a little bit. I'm going to go down a little bit. I think Now looking at 2023, I think we're going to see home prices appreciate somewhere between 3 and 6%. So I don't think we're going to see big declines. We might see a dip in prices now, maybe in the first quarter, even into the second quarter. But I think by the end of 2023, you'll see an overall price increase of 3 to 6% year over year for home prices. So anybody that's been waiting to jump into the market, I still say now is the time to get in. This historically low interest rates we've seen, 2%, 3%, those are outliers. Those were not normal. Like they're saying 6, 7, 8% might be the new normal. It's not, it's the old normal. That's what historically over a 50-year historical average rates, I think, are 7 or 8%. So getting back to 6 or 7% is really where rates should be. Getting it back to a normal real estate market is what people should want. You shouldn't be paying $50,000 over asking price. You shouldn't be competing with multiple offers. You should have time to go look at a house, look at 3 or 4 more houses, think about it for a day, make an offer, make a little bit of a negotiation, get an inspection. We want to get back to a normal real estate market, and I think that's what's going to happen. It's just been such a roller coaster ride lately. People don't know what normal is. People don't know what to expect. Think of 2015, 16, 17, 18. That's the real estate market we're going to get back to. Okay, so there's some of my predictions where I see the real estate market going in 2023. But what do you think? Leave me a comment down below. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do that and give this video a big like if you got any value out of it. In my upcoming videos, we'll talk more about retiring early, more about real estate, more about rentals, more about Airbnbs. I'll talk about my house in Puerto Rico. We'll talk about many, many, many more things. And if you like this video, go watch this video. And if you want to learn more about my house in Puerto Rico, thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.